Industrial souls, forged in fire's embrace. Their lives entwined with skill's relentless pace. In factory's depths, where engines
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Industrial Souls. Today, my guest is going to be Julie Runez with Lehnen Industrial Services. She's a marketing director there, and she has some super unique, solutions to some of the problems that she has run across in marketing. And I think you're going to want to hear about these, especially some of these things that are in real life solutions in this age, which is so digital. So hang on for a second because things are about to get industrial. Hey, Julie, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm great, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to. It's funny because I feel like we go way back just because we were chatting on the Industrial Marketing Live chat a while ago. We've actually only met one time, I think, at the Industrial Marketing Summit at like one of the mixers or something like that.
Yep.
I saw you there. We talked for about 10 minutes, but I don't know. It feels like we go way back. So good to have you on. And yeah, good to have you on, and I appreciate you telling us all about all the stuff that you're working on, which is really interesting. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, to start us off, why don't you just give everybody an introduction to you and maybe your career background and how you got into your position at Lehnen, and I don't know, just a little about your history.
Yeah, so Julie Runez, I have been working at Lehnen Industrial since April of 2020. And I came into this position really just as a researcher. I had been out of the workforce for about 15 years, staying home with my 3 kids. And I was having a hard time finding anything. Before I had kids, I was in journalism. And so I was having a hard time breaking in after such a big gap in my resume. And a friend of mine was working here and said that they just needed someone to do market research for them. And that's kind of how I started. And I didn't have any background in marketing at the time. And so it really was just kind of a slow learning process that started with doing research and kind of grew from there as new needs arose. And it's been a wonderful experience for me to be able to really just direct the whole process because I'm the only marketing person here at this company, and marketing was new to the company. And that really gave us a lot of freedom to do it in a unique way without all of the sort of trappings about what marketing is supposed to be. And we just really were able to figure out what worked for us in a very organic way.
And you've been there for something like 5 years? Is that correct? Yeah.
Close. It'll be 5 years in April. Yep.
Yeah. So that's interesting because you were doing a career transition time where you weren't working, and then you were trying to get back into the workforce. What I think is super interesting is that you didn't have a background in marketing, and the company didn't have really a background in marketing. How do you think we all decided to do marketing, I guess, or how did that happen?
Well, really, when I came on, like I said, they just wanted me to do research on companies that they would like to work with and research on competitors. And so that's kind of how it started. And we had one person in business development who was working her butt off, cold calling people and keeping track of that in an Excel file. So it really came to be like, well, how can we be more efficient about this? What tactics can we use to be more efficient? And so, of course, we got a CRM, and we started trying to do things a little bit more passively, where we could, put ourselves out there. Our website, we didn't really have a website. We had sort of a digital business card that was a dead end, and
Right.
anywhere you clicked, So we wanted to update that. So I built my first website on the job and learned how to do that on the job. And, we really just tried to find ways to reduce her work. She always used to, Kelly, she used to always equate it to cutting down a forest with a steak knife. You try to go after those companies that you would love to work with, and you have
Yeah.
no way in, So
Right.
we tried to just sort of reverse the flow of effort there and make more of the interactions come in passively, instead of with her having to go out and attack them all.
So just for those companies that are out there that don't have anybody in marketing, because this is an interesting, I guess, point. You came into this organization, there was no marketing. You didn't even really intend to do marketing directly per se, but once you got in there, there was needs, and you're a problem solver, which is like, kind of, from what I've been able to glean from getting to know you, it's like one of your key DNA points. You're like a systematic and a problem solver, and because of that nature, you kind of created marketing because it needed to be there to solve problems. So now on the post side, having done that some years ago, and you're still doing it, what would you say to companies out there who are kind of maybe in the position Lehnen was before they met you, and maybe doesn't think that they need to do marketing? They've got, a Kelly out there working the phone, and they're like, oh, this is okay. Now post having gone from no marketing whatsoever to now you have a marketing program and a marketing director, what would you say to those other companies that are out there that haven't done that yet?
I would say to really be introspective about the whole process. If you are happy at the size you are, and you don't feel like you need to have to grow in order to not shrink, then maybe what you're
Right.
doing is okay. But if you're looking to expand your customer base, if you're looking to grow your company, um, there, it's really important to find ways to work smarter, not harder,
I like
and
that.
really maximize the effort that maximize the return on your efforts. And if your answer to that is throwing more people or more work hours at the same problem in the same way, you probably have some better solutions out there that you can uncover.
Great advice. Also, you don't want your salesperson to burst into flames.
Right.
There's a certain you should have had her on this call. There's a certain I guess, kind of like, limit, right? There's a limit, and you need to be able to, like you said, work smarter, not harder. You can only spin one wheel so flipping fast, and sometimes you need to have four wheels on the ground instead of just one. So yeah, great
Absolutely.
insights. Great
And that's a
insights
really
from your
important point,
experience.
to bring your salespeople into that conversation, because things might look great in the books, and then you talk to your salesperson and they're just burned out and you didn't know.
Right.
Bring them into that conversation as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, so pivoting, I really wanted to talk about this. I don't want to introduce it too much. I want to let you talk about it. But this tactic that you're doing, where you wanted to provide value to your customers. Okay, as marketers, we're all trying to find, as business people, we're all trying to find ways to provide value to our customer base. And in the world of content marketing, a lot of us think, okay, I'll provide valuable content or whatever it is. And that's all fine and good. And I love that. But you took a unique approach, which is a real world approach. So why don't you tell us all about it? I don't even want to introduce it. You just introduce the concept and tell us how it's going.
Yeah, so exactly what you're saying. We tried exactly those things because, like I said, I didn't have any experience coming in. All I knew when I came into this position was how I feel as a consumer. And I knew all the things that I hated about interacting with marketers and with companies and all of the things that I liked. And so
Careful.
we really want.
Careful.
I know. We really wanted to make sure that we were doing all of the things our customers want and need, and none of the things that they hate.
Yeah.
And we wanted to provide value. And so we looked at the models that were out there. I didn't have an experience, so I wanted to see what other people were doing. And so that became, well, everybody's trying to provide content that's helpful. And so let's do that. And we wrote articles that were well researched and really important topics to our customers. And
Mhm.
the reach just wasn't there, and there wasn't much response to that. And what we felt was that all of that is information that, even though we had to, research it and put it out there, it's out there. If anybody else wants to do their research and put it out there, they can do the same thing. What we do is so custom and so individual and so much, so frequently covered by complete NDAs that we can't even share it. What we do is we build custom automation for mostly life science companies. So we can't share a lot of that. So how do we demonstrate our expertise to potential customers? How do we show them what we do? And what we want.
Wait, I'm going to interrupt you just because this is funny. Aline says, as a marketer, I admit we're annoying. So he agrees. He agrees with you. Okay, we can't pretend. It's true.
Yes. And I felt like I was being annoying, and we didn't want to do those things. So we wanted to find a way to bring value directly to our customers. And the way that we can do that is to help them de-risk their projects, to help them achieve proof of concept, to help them look really good in front of their buying committees. We're the custom projects that we do are anywhere from the mid tens of thousands to the low millions per project. And these projects can make or break the career of our point people that we're working with at these companies. And we take that really seriously. And we heard from our customers that a lot of time, just the process of finding proof of concept or coming up with a solution can often sink their budget for the project itself. And so we came up with Lehnen Lab, and we dedicated 1,600 square feet of our facility to this lab. We have partner companies who are at the cutting edge of innovation and technology in their field. So we have Stobley robots. We have Azrael part feeders. We have SMC components, Beckhoff components, Keyence components. We have 3D printing. We have our machine shop. We have our engineering departments that we have CCSA. They do specialty lighting for vision systems. All of these companies, IGUS has more products than you can imagine. They have just everything from linear motion to bushings and bearings to even robots now. And all of these companies were really excited to participate in this space where their components can be made available with our expertise. So our customers can come in here at zero cost and use this space and come to us with a problem and say, help me prove this concept so that we can get funding to move forward with this project. And we've done our absolute best to make this space as symbiotic as possible. And by that, I mean, it's a $0 zone for everybody. So we're not paying our partner companies to bring their things in here. They're not paying us for space in the lab. Our customers are not paying us to come in and use the space. We have a partnership with Keene State College where their students in their computer science, mechatronics, and sustainable product design fields majors can come in and use this space for semester-long projects. It's really all just about being completely solution-centric. And the ability to prove out an entire concept with all of these components seems like what we're hearing is very, very unique. All of our partner companies say, well, we have a showroom, but we can only show our stuff. We can't show the complete solution because we don't make PLCs or we don't make vision systems. We make slide rails. So we can't we can't show that complete solution. And here we can bring all of those aspects together for a complete solution that really helps everyone involved.
So just to back up, to provide some background. So Lehnen, what you guys do is provide equipment solutions, so to say. So like a purpose-built piece of equipment that solves some manufacturing or whatnot solution for a customer. And that equipment is often made up of other pieces of equipment and other systems that are interconnected and used together. And you make a whole end-to-end solution that really solves their problem with a combination of stuff that you make and other equipment that you bring together to form a complete solution. And this lab allows customers, those kind of people who are looking for the complete solution, to come in and see all of, or at least a lot of, the different pieces, parts, options, and whatnot, even the ones that you don't make. So from other suppliers who provide vision systems or whatever, any of the other myriad different types of components that could go into a system like this, they get to see it hands-on. And you were even telling me sometimes you'll have reps from those companies. So when that customer is there, they can ask questions to a rep from that company. Tell me about that part of it.
Yeah. So as part of our doing nothing that the customers hate, nobody wants to walk into a high pressure sales situation. So before a customer comes in with a project, we'll send them a little survey or questionnaire saying, what type of problem are you trying to solve? What have you already tried? What kind of components do you think you'll need? And would you like any of the representatives of these partner companies to be available for questions during your visit? And so anybody who thinks, we definitely need a laser. We need one from Keyence. We just don't know if we need a carbon laser or we don't know what type of laser we need. So it'd be great if we had a Keyence laser rep available there to walk us through the options. That's totally available. All of the partner companies are excited about the opportunity to do that. But of course, we're not going to say, hey guys, we've got somebody coming in. We got a live one. Everybody send a rep, because nobody wants that high pressure situation. They want to come in and do what they feel like they need. And so it's exciting to be able to say, well, we know we're going to need a vision system, and we know that we're going to use we're going to use a camera from Keyence, but they don't have the specialty lighting that we need. So it would be great to have a Keyence rep and a CCSA rep there to help us find the best combination of camera and lighting for this particular problem.
Yeah. And that's genius. And what also, and you mentioned this, but just to bring back up, what also is genius is that all these partners are sort of donating. They're just loaning, let's say, all this equipment to you because it's a sales opportunity for them. Mm-hmm. So it's not expensive for you to have this gear. And then you have this, it's really like a three-way win, right? A win-win-win where the partner company has their equipment in front of people who are making buying decisions. You are providing this whole opportunity, let's say, for somebody to come in and see things and in a way that nobody else is doing this, for them that we know of. It's very unique that somebody would bring in all these things into one place, and it's not like competitive. It's because you're a third party who's, helping pick and choose between these things. And then the customer wins, obviously, because they can make better informed choices when they can see things and touch things and ask questions. And so that win-win-win nature of it, I think, is pretty genius. I feel like this is I don't know, to me, I just love this idea because it's out of the box. It's not just doing what everybody else is doing, but it's using partnerships, relationships, square footage space you have. You just moved into a new facility not that long ago, I think. So you have probably some extra square footage in there somewhere. And, like, hey, let's use the things that we have and turn it into this massive value that we're providing into the space. I just think that's a genius idea, really.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. And we really wanted to make sure that we were never going to be asking anything of anyone unless we were giving them equal or greater value in return. So we didn't ask any of these
Right.
partner companies to donate any of their equipment. They can retain ownership of all of their components. So if, let's say Stubbly is bringing in a Scare robot this month. If in 6 months they come out with a newer, greater model that they want our customers to see in front of them, they can come and swap that out. They're not stuck with us representing them with an
Right.
outdated robot because we had to purchase it. So it works great. And we wanted to ask nothing of our customers and provide only value to them. And that's exactly what we're doing. The only thing we're asking them is to make the trip.
Yeah. I also like your little mantra of eliminating things that customers hate. It's like the reductionary approach to marketing. Let's eliminate all the things about marketing that customers hate. And what you're left with is a creative approach to bringing real value in the real world. I think like that the approach is inspiring to take that and think, okay, I'm, in my company or in whoever's listening out there's company, maybe they can't do exactly what you're doing because it's unique to you, and that's the whole point. But to rethink, like, how can we bring value and do something that's completely different, completely new in the marketplace, and really bring some value to the customer base. Salim's talking about your kind of work, which he has a little bit of a background in, and he's saying it's tough work and every project is a brand new challenge, which I'm sure it is. Trying to solve everything is custom for all these people. So
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
sure, it
Absolutely.
takes a lot of hand holding and reassurances, and you get halfway through this thing, you don't want to be like, oh, our idea doesn't work. We invested, $100,000 into this equipment to get this far, and no, you can't be making mistakes like that. That's
Right.
yeah, that would be something customers hate.
Yes, absolutely. And this is completely a collaborative space. It's so much about back and forth with the customer, making sure that their feedback is heard, making sure that if they see something that in a direction we're going that's not going to work, that it's addressed immediately. And you made a good point that what we're doing is really specific to us. It won't work for everyone in this exact format, but one thing that everyone can do is just kind of step into the customer's shoes for a minute and think, what
Yeah,
would I not want out of this interaction? And so by, when we say we're eliminating the things customers hate, I mean, I don't even pass on the names and companies and project interests of our visitors to the lab to our sales department until my customer asks us to. Nobody's
mhm.
going to get a cold call. Nobody's going to get a call they're not expecting. We're not going to put you on a mailing list unless you specifically opt in. There's no checking the opt out box. It's only opt in. We just don't like anything that makes people feel like they've been taken advantage of or that we're being sneaky.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's that's tough as a marketer. I know everybody's impulse is to maximize on all opportunities, but yeah, like you and Sleem have already said, we don't want to do things that people hate. And I do think people, sometimes some marketers, some people would rank us right there under lawyers, dentists, lawyers, marketers. Like we're in that same group, unfortunately. We got
Yeah.
to quit doing that crap that people hate.
Right. And most of that stuff is for us, it's not for them. It's for our vanity metrics of how many leads we have, and that never come to anything because they weren't serious leads to begin with. I mean, I just remember I watched a short video of a product demo on LinkedIn, and I got 2 phone calls to my business phone. I got a phone call to my cell phone, and
Yeah.
then a
Oh,
salesperson called my husband's cell phone and asked him to speak to me. So, I mean, there's
that's
like
aggressive.
3 degrees of invasive tactics there that, first of all, to even find out who my husband is and what his phone number is, just
Ultra creepy.
never want anything creepy like that. Don't want to give anybody the ick, as my daughter says.
We don't. Clint is having a breakdown though, because he's saying no cold calls, no mailing lists, my world is imploding.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about a mailing list for a minute. So what we don't have is a mailing list that we are going to send out, with some information about us or, basic, recurring themes that we're going to send out to a group just so that we're keeping in contact. What we are going to have is a opt-in only mailing list for our customers and partners in the lab or anybody interested in what's going on in the lab. And in that mailing list, we will have a list of events. We will have, maybe an update on things that we've developed in the lab recently to give people ideas of what's possible. But we're not going to be spamming that out to anybody. Everybody who receives that will have asked to receive it. So mailing lists have their place for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fair to email people about things that they want to know about. There's a lot of things that you do want to know about I've signed up for things because I want the information on the thing. Yeah. And that's totally fair, obviously. I'm going to pivot this convo right now, though, from this interesting topic to a completely different interesting topic, which is sort of, I think, related to the topic that we first connected on when you were talking about integrating data and software and tech stacks and all this kind of stuff. But another way that you have brought your problem-solving, process-driven DNA to work is through the creation of this dashboard system, which I think is super fascinating. I'm going to put it up on the screen. So you have several examples of different dashboards here that you have built to follow processes and keep customers informed. I think there's even a lab one. Hold on, do I have it? Yeah. So this one is, for the lab we were just talking about. So it's kind of like every process you have, more or less, it looks like, has a dashboard. Why don't you talk about these dashboards? Tell us about this.
Yeah, so we have, we've been using ClickUp. We really didn't have any kind of project or task management system that was comprehensive. So we tried out ClickUp. We really like it. So this project dashboard here is a customer dashboard. So this is what a customer would get. And in that, they see a project timeline that's updated in real time as our project manager makes changes to it. We've got a little section where their team contacts are. We have a video to walk you through using the dashboard. We have a customer task list. So if we need anything from our customer, that'll show up there. We have a section for meetings. And then we have, there's also a photo gallery, so we can keep the customer up to date on what's going on with their project that way, and a chat area and a file transfer area. So that's been really a really great way for our customers to stay in touch with where their project is, to know exactly where they can find all of the revs of drawings that have been sent back and forth. They can find a copy of our NDA in their document section. So it's been really nice, and we've gotten really good feedback from some of the customers about, we no longer have to email somebody or make a phone call. If we need to know if we're on schedule or not, we can just pull up that dashboard and see where we are.
And that's a value too. That's another way that you're providing a value and eliminating something that customers hate, because I'm sure they hate having to call and wait around for answers. They just want to know in a glance when they sit down and grab a coffee and jump on the computer and go, boop, oh, yep, our project's on time. But what, to me, the dashboard concept isn't new. I think it's great. But what's interesting to me is that you built all these things. Like, you came up with all these ideas and used the software, ClickUp, and then formed dashboards that integrate with your actual company processes, So it's not even just like, it's literally as people are building these machines, the dashboards are updating because it's all integrated and linked together with the actual project management, and that you built all of that. So to me, I am personally impressed by that. I thought that was super cool, that you did a great job. They look good. They sound super full featured, and I'm sure your customers love it. What's the reaction from customers been to the dashboards?
It's been widely positive, and actually we had one customer say, why aren't you touting this all over your website? This is a great value. It's really, they were built directly in response to customer feedback, which was, once the project is going, once we've had our last meeting and you're going, we have no idea, we feel out of the loop. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that we address that, because it's not a comfortable feeling, especially considering the size of the projects and what's at stake with these projects. So we wanted to make sure that they felt like they were up to speed on everything at all times.
Yeah. Listening to customers for ideas on how to provide value and eliminate things they hate. This is the theme of this episode with Julie Runez. Before we end the show, I actually want to talk about your writing background. So I thought that was interesting. So did you have a journalism degree, or what is tell me again about, because I don't remember your writing history.
Yeah, so actually I don't have a journalism degree. I was in school to pursuing a journalism degree.
Okay.
And I went to a newspaper asking for an internship, and they said, well, we can't give you an internship, but we'd like to hire you. So I went to work full time for the paper, and I was at the point in my educational career where I was starting to panic at the accumulation of the student loans. And so I opted for on-the-job experience instead of completing my degree. And it was great. I loved it. I had a great experience working for the paper. And then I went from working the paper to a 15-year hiatus from my career. So writing has always been something that's been really close and important to me. Really, I mean, I remember I started writing poetry when I was 6 years old. So, it's like it's just always been something that's been very natural to me. And I feel like a lot of the things that you have to do in order to write well are the same things that you have to do in order to be able to market well or to interact with your customers well. And that's just listen, just always be a student of what you're trying to express.
And so what's interesting is slightly ironic is that you're a writer with a writing passion in background, and then you tried bringing that into marketing in the form of content, which is kind of what everybody has been saying we should be doing, and then you found that it didn't work. So I'm wondering it didn't work as good as what you're doing now works. So how is your writing finding an outlet now? Do you do any creative writing? Did you bring a poem to read to us?
I didn't bring a poem. No, I did not.
I should have prepped you for that.
Yeah, man, that would have been a whole different conversation, huh?
It would have been awesome. I love that stuff.
So no, I do still occasionally write. I write music. I write poetry. I've written one novel that is sitting in waiting to be published, and then I have one novel that is about 2/3 of the way through its rough draft that has been woefully neglected since I've gotten so wound up in what I've been doing here. So it's still sitting there waiting to be reignited when I have some downtime.
That's cool. I had no idea you actually wrote at least a novel. You've got a lot of stuff in the works there. I definitely want to hear about it when your novel is published. Part 1, Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Julie Runez Chronicles. All right. Well, Julie, thanks for being on the show. I know I'll see you out there. If people want to get a hold of you, is LinkedIn the best way, or is there a better way?
LinkedIn is great, or just Julie at lehnendesign.com. It's LEHNEN design.com. And I'm happy to hear from you.
All right. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Julie, thanks for being a guest. I'm sure we'll see you out there on LinkedIn land. That's it for now.
Thanks for the opportunity, John.
Yep.